Good evening. It is day 40, whatever, of 100 days, 100 videos, 200 questions. We have made it 40% of the way through. That is insane that I've done a video every single day, published a video every single day for 40 days. I give myself a little pat on the back for that. It's the day after Christmas. It's Boxing Day if you're Australian or somewhere else, English, British, European, wherever they celebrate Boxing Day. It's not here in Ohio. And I got a last minute Christmas gift that I wasn't expecting. So this is year 2 that I have been, sorry, what am I doing with my phone? There it is. This is year 2 of me participating in a fantasy football league, which I was excited to do because I look at it not so much as like, I'm not a big football fan. I don't really care that much. I don't watch any of the games. But I thought of it as like a strategy game, a little bit of a puzzle. And so I thought it'd be fun to play. Last year, I did not do very well. I want to get my phone because I wanted to see what place I got last year. I want to say it was 9th of 12. But I can't remember. So I'm going to see if I can look at, yes, no, 8th. Okay, so I got 8th of 12 last year, which is not great, but also like fine. This year I really wanted to do better. So I put a lot of effort into researching and drafting well. Last year I did an auto draft and I got like 8 wide receivers. It was kind of insane. I mean, that's not true because they filled up my roster, but like every single person on my bench was a wide receiver, like a mediocre wide receiver. It was very strange. So this year I did my own draft, start to finish. I didn't auto draft at all. I was the very last draft spot, so I was like 12th and first, you know, that kind of thing. Like it was a stressful drafting position to be in. My first draft pick was Kelsey, which did not turn out to be that great over the course of the season, but I did get to where I wanted to talk about is, sorry, I am rambling tonight. So I had a very rough start of the season. I won my first game, which was great. And then I lost 2, and then I won 1, and then I lost 3 in a row, and then I had a bye week in the middle of there. So I was at the point where like I was almost to a must-win scenario. Like I was about to be the first person to get myself kicked out of the playoffs. So I was like, okay, I got to win every game from here on out. And since then, I have done it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. I won the last 6 games of the season to not only, we had a very tight league. So not only did I make the playoffs, we had 11 people. We had somebody drop at the last minute. I made the playoffs, and I got a first round bye, which was amazing. And then last night was the end of round 2, where I was playing someone who had beat me at the beginning of the season, and then I beat to make it into the playoffs and get my bye. And it was looking bleak for me because he had Amari Cooper, and if you watch football at all, you know that he blew up. I had Flacco though. I was playing Flacco as my quarterback. That's something this year has been weird for me. I've gone through so many quarterbacks and they're all like meh, but I've been in the last half of the season been able to strategize and pick up the right person at the right time. Flacco being evidence of that. He was, I think, the highest scoring quarterback this past week, I believe, unless the Ravens quarterback did better. I didn't look. But he had 30 points. Flacco did. So he did great. Amari Cooper did better, and he was on the other team. And so all I needed, I went into last night's game projected to lose. I think I had like a 28% chance of winning. which is not great. And I was kind of like, what I need is for, this is what I said. I said, what I need is for Purdy, who's the San Francisco quarterback, to have the worst game of his career, but somehow end up with Moody, the kicker, who I had on my team, having a great game. That's what I needed. And it was so unlikely. But as you can imagine me talking about this story, making it worthwhile, Purdy scored 0.4 points. He was anticipated to score 20 points, I believe, approximately. He scored 0.4. And the defense, he had the San Francisco defense, they scored 3 points. So in that game, he had a total of 7 points, which was not enough to beat me because I was already at 90 some points and he only had 80 points at that point. So I won in like, not the last minute, but the last game, which is kind of funny because earlier this season, one of my definite must wins, I won literally in overtime. The team I was playing against, it was one of those, like, I had 1% chance of winning. They had a 99% chance of winning. And then their defense screwed something up in overtime, dropped their defense points down, and I won. It was that close. I think, let me see what the score was between the two. It ended up being, I won with 118.4 points, and she lost with 117.1. It was that close. And it was an overtime win. It was amazing. So this kind of felt like that. So I never count myself out at this point, but I do, like, I'm realistic. But now I'm going to the championship. And I do not have a freaking quarterback. I have Flacco still. And he's been doing so well, but he's playing against the New York Jets. And that does not feel, it feels like a very, like, warring, because he used to play for the Jets. So maybe there's some animosity that's going to fuel his flame, because they didn't want him anymore. But also, like, the Jets know him, which makes it bad. Yeah, so the only other person is Trevor Lawrence, and let's be honest, I'm not playing Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, so that's the big thing that happened to me on Christmas. Everything else is great. And let's move on, because we're already 7 minutes in, and I haven't even gotten to the real part of this video. All right, what's my question today? How do you deal with self-doubt? I think there's a couple of things that I do. First of all, self-doubt is normal. It is almost predictable. So the first thing I do is try and figure out, where is the self-doubt coming from? Is it coming from a place of rationality? Like, for my fantasy football, like, is it because the stats are not on my side and I don't think I'm going to win? Plus, I don't have that much experience. Like, where's it coming from? Or is it coming from a place of just, like, past trauma, where I feel like I'm intrinsically not good enough, right? And that's a lot of my copy self-doubt comes from. So that is a big one, to be like, okay, can I find the core of this self-doubt? And then how do I get past it? Like, is it something that I need more education? Is it something that I need to talk to someone? Is it something that I need to prove myself in some way, prove myself to myself in some way? Like, what is it that's going to eradicate this feeling, or at least quiet it down? Because it's always going to be there. And the second thing is just, like, I think I've mentioned it before, but if I haven't, I like to, when I'm feeling really down on myself, where that self-doubt creeps in, I like to just sort of list successes that I've had. And they're not necessarily business related. Sometimes they're personal. Sometimes they're family. Sometimes they're in the past, like way in the past. But I start listing successes to remind myself of what I'm capable of. And then I don't feel so bad. At the end of the day, and if neither of those things work, I go to my network and I tell them, hey, I'm feeling really terrible right now. Can you make me feel better? And, you know, those are the people that you have around to do that. Like, you're not burdening them with that. They want to do that. When you have good people around you, the people that you would be not even just willing, like, happy to have an impact on their day in that way, probably feel the same way about you. So keep that in mind. All right, let's go to our chat, which I don't have open. There we go. Let's start a new series, and for this week, we're going to do New Year related questions. So the first one's probably going to be like, what's the best resolution you've ever had? Okay, so let's see what they said. All right, so the first question is, what's one New Year's resolution you've successfully kept, and how did it change your life? Well, I will say one that I successfully kept and one that I did not successfully keep, but it came from a place of like kind of humor. The one that I successfully kept was I had a resolution to quit my job in 2022, my full-time finance job. And I had already given myself a deadline of February, and so it wasn't actually that hard to keep my resolution because it hadn't completely waned by the middle of February. But yeah, that was the resolution I kept, and it was one of the best decisions of my life. Now I have so much more freedom. I'm doing something that creatively charges me up, and I've met some of the most amazing people. All things that I did meet some amazing people in finance. There were not as many as I've met so quickly and just create connections with in this internet marketing community. It's insane when you sort of find a place that you belong in. You can kind of feel like you've wasted a lot of your life, which is sad, but everything happens for a reason, puts you where you need to be. The other New Year's resolution that I want to talk about is one that I failed at. A few years back, I want to say it was 2017. Yeah, that sounds right. My New Year's resolution was to eat more wings, to discover Columbus, Ohio's best wings. And I was really excited about this resolution. I got a lot of positive feedback on it for being realistic and fun. And I love eating wings, so I was really excited. In February, I went out to B-Dubs, which is not the place where I would go to get wings. I would not have considered it a contender for Columbus's best wings, but somebody was having a birthday party there, a birthday get together. Sorry, something in my eye, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll go." I mean, it's still wings. I'm still gonna try. I'm gonna do the same thing. Which everywhere I went, I was getting buffalo wings and garlic parmesan, which are my two favorite wing sauces. Garlic parmesan where applicable, and I went there, and it's so funny because they got like wings for the table, but they didn't get garlic parmesan, I think. And so I ordered my own. I ordered my own little side of garlic parmesan, and the next day I got so violently ill. Like, it was the worst illness I've ever had. Like, I can't even begin to express the turmoil I was in. And although I did find out that it was the norovirus and not food poisoning later on, because I thought it was food poisoning, so my husband stuck around. My sister, who was living with us at the time, stuck around, and we kind of kept the little baby. We had our baby. She was not even a year old yet, around because we thought it was food poisoning, and that's not contagious. Well, it turns out it was very contagious. My husband got it, and my sister got it. The baby never got it, thankfully. They didn't get it as bad as I did, because I was out for like a week, like just could not get out of bed. And even though I eventually realized it was not because of the wings, I don't think I ate wings again that year. I had just associated the two together, and it was just unappealing. So those are my two resolutions. The one that I successfully kept, and one that I did not. That was a great resolution, though, the wings one. I should bring it back. Although I'm afraid of getting norovirus again, and it somehow being a thing. Okay, anyway, this has been day 40 of 100 days, 100 videos, 200 questions, and I am so thankful if you've watched every video to this point, or even if this is just your first video, that you took the time out of your day to listen to me talk to myself about myself. It means a lot. And I hope that you have a great day tomorrow. And I will see you then. Bye.